Feel free to speak.
Okay. Hi.
Don't bother me. I'm doing social media right now.
Well, should we start this episode without an annoying introduction?
The episode has already started.
Yeah. No. Actually, I don't. Yeah, we could start at any time. Let's just breathe.
What? Why?
I was just wondering if maybe we should shift gears a little bit. Maybe we should do a podcast about something else.
What?
Like the manosphere. Do you think we can enter the manosphere?
The manosphere?
Yeah.
What is that? Is that like
telling
Joe
people how
Rogan?
to be men and
Oh,
giving boys advice.
we should like Andrew.
Actually, do you know what I really do want to cover? One of the next books I want to cover is Jordan Peterson's.
Oh,
book,
that would be interesting.
because so many people have loved that, and I haven't read it.
Like people that you know have liked it.
Yeah.
That is
And
so
whenever I see
interesting.
him on any video clips of him, he's like, just feels like such a victim to me. So
Well,
I've got.
he's like super transphobic, right?
Yes, I mean,
But like sometimes he gives good advice or something.
I think that he showed an interest in young men and tried to get them to, take themselves seriously and work hard and all that stuff. And so people have kind of thought of him as a champion of young men. So anyway, at some point
That would be really
that should be on our
interesting.
list to cover, because then we can really
dive
into what
Maybe
he
that should
actually
be our
wrote.
next one. Yeah, that could be our next book.
I also want to do a relationship book like Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, which was kind of
Yeah.
popular when I was growing up, and just see like how kind of probably
How it
outdated
aged,
some
yeah.
of those things are.
I remember I saw something
But,
about
I
Jordan Peterson where he was talking about that men shouldn't get upset about what their girlfriends wear if they're wearing something that they don't like, because it makes the girlfriend feel like ashamed of themselves when they didn't do anything wrong, and it's not their fault if other men are looking at them or something. And I was like, that's kind of progressive.
Well, I think, I mean, we should just read his book and and discuss it then. But because I don't want to, I could place lots of judgments right here, right now, based on just the clips I've seen.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get the context and also just read, 12 Rules for Life or something.
Is that what it's called?
Maybe there's more than 12, I don't know, but which was written kind of, I feel like, a little bit before he I think his grievance mongering, which is one of the
gurometers,
gurometer scales. I think it's gone up over time. I don't know, maybe not. We'll come back to Jordan Peterson. In the meantime, this is the Self-Help Podcast, Self-Help Hangover Podcast. I'm Kirk.
And I'm Maegan. And we're reading You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. And we are on chapter 9 and 10, right?
Yeah, and what's the difference between us, Maegan? Well, first of all, we're related.
And since we've been doing this podcast, we've really realized that we don't really have that many differences. We thought we were really different.
Megan's my
before.
daughter. I'm Megan's dad.
Yeah.
And
we started this because we would sometimes have conflicting ideas about my dad is very critical of gurus, and sometimes I would confront him and say, like, hey, how come you are so critical about gurus and you don't have that same criticalness about your religion, which is the LDS Church, which I am a little bit more critical about.
And how did I respond to that?
And he said, I am critical about it.
And what do you think about that?
I mean, I for sure, yeah, you are. But I just think sometimes there's some things about, like, that you maybe criticize about some people that you don't criticize about the church when they do similar things.
What's an example of that?
I mean, one thing, is like, maybe this is different because, well, I don't know. He'll just sometimes criticize people for trying to maybe, like, scam people out of money in a way. And I kind of think that's, like, the same thing as tithing. But I don't know if you pay tithing or not.
You think that scamming people out of money is the same as a church asking their members to pay tithing?
Yeah. And maybe not if they actually needed the money, but the LDS Church certainly does not need the money. So that's, I don't know if this is getting too negative or not, but
Whenever we see people we know, we're going to
get a little embarrassed. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, ooh.
No, I have concerns. I have concerns about the use of tithing funds. One of my favorite accounts to follow, a project that's happening, is called the Widow's Mite account. Widow's Mite. What do they call it? Basically, there is a group of anonymous people, financial experts that track church funds to make the earnings and expenditures as transparent as possible from an outside perspective, because the church is not transparent about the use of funds or their earnings often. The Widow's Mite Project gets whatever information is public and does as much thorough, like, financial calculations as they can, and they produce graphs and projections, and they're like, this is how much we think based on our calculations the Ensign Peak investment is worth. This is how much we believe is going to charity. This is how much, this is where it flows, all of this stuff.
Oh, that's
so
interesting.
I love
I'll have
that.
to check that out.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Anyway.
Well, should we get started?
Yeah, maybe we can, if you have any other things you want to address in a future episode, we can do that.
I'll try to think if there's anything else.
But for now, we need to get to a very important topic. The
loincloth. The loincloth man.
The loincloth man, which is the title of chapter 9. Loincloth man, just loincloth man. And I have an exclamation mark after man. I wrote it. Loincloth man, and then in red I wrote an exclamation mark.
Is that significant in any way?
Just my enthusiasm for what's about to happen in this chapter. So, do you want to tell us about the loincloth man, Megan?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, Jen goes on a trip with her. She goes on a backpacking trip, right, with her friends.
In Utah, no less.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting, yeah. So she goes backpacking in Utah with her friends every once in a while, and they're going backpacking, and they run into this man, and he's wearing, like, just a loincloth that's made out of, like, a squirrel pelt or something similar. Anyways, all he's wearing is a loincloth, and she says this man is very attractive. and they're talking to him, and he says that basically he just got fed up with the complicatedness of society, and so he just decided to live in the mountains, and he just hunts his own food, and he just lives alone up there. And he was catching a squirrel that he was going to eat for dinner, and she just thinks this is so crazy, and she's really fascinated by this guy. And from what she's kind of like, it's kind of a little bit hard to tell what the point is, but I think she's like kind of inspired by this guy.
I mean,
like,
the chapter's only 2.5 pages.
It's super short.
Half of it, one page, is talking about how hot this guy looks in his loincloth. And then she ends, I want to be like loincloth man. In big bold letters, love yourself, no matter who you really are.
Yeah, so it's funny. Sometimes I feel like she just tells stories that have no point.
Well, I think the point is this guy really chose a different life.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. He really took his own path in life.
Do you know anybody like that has really chosen a different path?
I can't think of anyone that extreme, and I'm trying to think. Like, I can't think of anyone who's been like, I'm gonna live
Off the grid?
Yeah, off the grid. I cannot think of anyone. Can you?
I mean, I know a lot of people who have significantly changed their course and gone from, shirt and ties on Sunday to like witch dances in the woods,
Yeah,
that kind
for
of
sure.
thing. And then a lot of people that I know also, since I've been doing, kind of done a lot of rainbow art, and a lot of people have changed the course of their life quite a bit, and sometimes just because there wasn't a path available to them where they could choose to love somebody of the same sex, for example, and remain in their religious community. So that kind of inability, like the lack of a viable path, kind of forced them to make some dramatic changes.
It almost kind of reminds me of Mom. She had a dramatic life change when she used to be very active in the LDS church, and she grew up in the church. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't share all this, but she...
Well, we want to have her on soon,
yeah,
too,
so
to talk a little bit about a mixed faith marriage, right?
Yeah.
I think that'd be good.
But she totally did a 180 with...
But not... I mean, yes, in terms of faith.
Yeah.
And although she's still... and I shouldn't speak for her, but from what I understand, she has faith in Jesus.
Yeah.
She refuses to swear.
She won't drink, smoke, or drink coffee.
Yeah.
Not that you have to do any of those things, but she still lives a very similar lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it takes guts either way, right? Like, it takes guts to follow your conscience when what you've been doing, it turns out, your conscience doesn't allow you to keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah.
There's a quote that I love from A Man for All Seasons, which is a movie about Thomas and a play about Thomas More, who was the Chancellor of England when Henry VIII was trying to get a divorce and the Catholic Church wouldn't let him. And what was I started this and I have no idea what I was going to tell you. No, he was saying, Cardinal Woolsey, I think, was like, "Come on, Thomas, just agree to let the king get a divorce." But Thomas More was like very true to Catholicism, and he said no. He wouldn't go along with it because it was against the church ideal. Anyway, Woolsey says, "Come along for fellowship," and Thomas More says, and when you go to heaven, or when you're headed to heaven for following your conscience, and I'm sent to hell for following my conscience, will you come with me to hell for fellowship? So I thought that was surprisingly moral relativism for that time. I don't know if he would have really said something like that. But the idea that your conscience is the guiding light and that you would go to heaven or hell based on following your conscience is an interesting idea.
That is interesting.
That I've taken to heart to an extent. Like, I think that you do, that God, that we have consciences so that we will do brave things, so that we will be true to ourselves and what we think is right and what we think is best. And it's interesting, though, that people's consciences tell them to do different things from one another, right?
Yeah.
So all that to say, it takes bravery. It takes bravery to be true to your conscience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, my name is Curtis Biggs. I'm a trombonist and a composer of contemporary art music, and I teach the low brass studio at Snow College in Utah. I just released a new album of all original music called Wind Meditations. In this album, I use the trombone in creative ways you have likely never heard before to create atmospheric soundscapes. You'll hear me divert the air out of an attached tube instead of the bell to create haunting, distant melodies. I play the bell section of the trombone without the slide attached to create the T-horn, sounding something like a cross between a French horn and euphonium. I use multiphonics, singing through the instrument while playing, in combination with the wah-wah mute to make a sound reminiscent of overtone singing. And in the title track, I use a combination of techniques, including circular breathing, playing a continuous drone while I sing a melody I heard in the wind while driving through Utah's Echo Canyon. Wind Meditations by Curtis Biggs is available on all streaming and download platforms, and is also available for download at curtistrombone.com. You can read more about all these pieces and find links to the album on my website as well. That's curtistrombone.com. You can also find me on Instagram and YouTube at Curtis Trombone. I'm a member of the American Composers Alliance, and my published scores are available at composers.com.
All right, so we're grateful for Loincloth Man's bravery, and we'll move on to Chapter 10, Meditation 101. Now, I should just turn the time over to you, because I think you probably have a lot more experience with meditation than I do.
I mean, I'll be honest, I would love to be really into meditation. I have kind of a hard time meditating. And it's been a goal that I've had forever that I need to start taking seriously, is meditating every day. Because I've heard it does, it's just, well, and I'm kind of like Brian too. I've also wanted to become more spiritual lately and have more of a connection with whatever higher power I believe in. And that's another reason I've really wanted to get into meditation. So that's something that I will want to talk about more in the
Okay.
future.
So you haven't done as much as you would like.
Yeah.
I have done, okay, so first of all, I've done meditations. Every once in a while, Mom will have us do, she's had us do several for like family home evening or like Sunday dinner, right?
Yeah.
Like guided meditations where she'll put something like a YouTube guided meditation on, and we'll listen to the instructions of somebody with a calm voice and calm music or nature sounds, and they'll kind of walk us through it. I've done some of those on my own too. My therapist has had me do some meditations because here's my temptation. First of all, I like to sleep. I like to wake up late, and then I'm like, I'm behind. I got to get as much done as possible. So the very first thing I'm doing when I'm waking up in the morning is checking my phone.
That's what I do. I'm trying to stop. I try not to go on my phone in the morning.
And then, I spend too much time on social media while I'm getting ready. So that takes me, it just takes me into the stresses of the world and comparison and all of those things right off the bat, rather than kind of centering myself at the beginning of the day. I have done practices, some during periods of my time more than others, of prayer and reading, scripture study first thing in the morning. And I do think those are centering practices. And then also, one of the things that I have done that puts me, I think, more in the zone than anything else is honestly painting the figure, like the model, a nude figure in a live drawing session. Like, it just is like I zone out and just totally get enveloped in the process of painting, and everything is calm and the world is as it should be. And so that is probably one of the most meditative things that I have experienced. Now, granted, sometimes the painting doesn't go well and then it becomes frustrating, and that's a different experience. But when you can get into the zone, and you're just like in a flow state, and the paint is applying itself, and like, that is very meditative for me.
Yeah, I was painting with Jack the other day, my youngest brother, and I was just in pure flow state, and like 3 hours passed by, and I was just like...
This week?
Yeah.
Maegan?
It was on...
It's a sign. I'm just kidding.
It was on Friday, I think. Yeah. It was just so crazy. I was like, wow, I have not painted for so long. I forgot how it just puts you so in the zone. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. I did not realize hours had passed by, and I was just painting, and we were listening to music, and I looked up and it was already 5 o'clock, and I was like, what the heck?
What were you listening to?
Jack was playing Billie Eilish and Coldplay and Mac DeMarco.
That sounds a lot like Jack's,
That's Jack's
playlist.
lineup, yeah.
Actually, I haven't heard him play Billie Eilish much.
Yeah, he
but
loves
always Coldplay and Mac DeMarco.
Yeah, he loves those two.
You guys got tickets, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get tickets.
Megan doesn't like concerts.
I don't like concerts.
Because there's too many people?
Controversial thing. I just feel like every time I've been to a concert, it's been a bad experience.
Because of
various reasons. Like, either I'm just like bored, or last time I went to a concert was with Brian, and we went to Playboy Cardi, and then I almost had a panic attack because we were in the mosh.
That's the only concert you've been to like that. That's the
Yeah,
whole point.
I know. But it's just like, maybe it's because I've never really been to a concert of someone that I actually like.
If you were to go to a concert, who would it be, Megan?
Glass Animals, maybe. Sorry. Like burping.
Glass Animals. Trying to think what the Glass Animals song is that I know.
Heat waves been faking me out.
Okay, well, is there anything that we want to say about meditation here?
That I would like to do it, and
She talks about a couple ways. One's basic. It's in a comfortable position. Sit straight up, close your eyes, focus on breathing. And then she talks about guided meditation. She also talks about chanting. I have not chanted, but I have sung. I've sung hymns.
I've
And
chanted before.
There's a meditative aspect to that as
Yeah,
well.
there is for sure.
You've chanted?
Yeah, I used to go to this yoga class at Vasa, and it was pretty out there for like what I would expect from Vasa, but we would like chant like sayings, and I am trying to remember what they meant. This was so long ago. I was probably 16, but it was pretty cool. I liked it. I would go back.
At Vasa?
Yeah, but it was also at the old building, so I doubt that teacher's even there anymore.
Maybe you could start it up at any time. Do
Maybe.
they
I
have-
just would be so embarrassed. I don't know why. There's something about chanting that's just so, like, unnatural almost. But, I liked it in the moment. But, like, I would just be embarrassed. Like, it would take me a little getting used to teach it.
Why are you embarrassed? Because it feels like it's appropriating
Maybe.
another culture?
It does
or
feel like a
because-
little bit like appropriating, maybe. And it just feels like it's just not something we do in our culture. So it just feels out of the ordinary for me.
Yeah. Well, I remember one time Uncle David talked about how he felt like he almost got to the place of, what's the word? Just like,
Nirvana.
yeah, like no thoughts, like totally cleared brain, right? When he was driving. Do you feel like driving is meditative?
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I just don't listen to anything while I drive and just think about things.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I don't have much more to say about Loincloth Man or meditation at this point. What's on the horizon for you? Well, you're applying to a master's program.
Hopefully, yeah.
And how's training going?
It's going good. Yeah, I'm accepting new clients probably. I'm kind of busy, but if anyone's available in the mornings, I can take on morning clients.
You've got a new yoga video up.
I have a new yoga video up, yeah, and I'm still teaching my classes, 1 yoga class per week and 4 senior classes per week, which I really love. 2 chair yoga classes and 2 silver sneakers. And
Have we ever talked about your other job here?
I don't think so. I work at a group home. I don't know if I should say the company, but I work at a group home.
You don't need to say it.
Okay. I work at a group home with 4 now autistic women. So it used to be 3, but we just got a new client. So yeah, it looks like a normal house, and I mean, it is a normal house, but yeah, 4 autistic.
Just in a neighborhood with
just in a neighborhood.
Everybody
yeah.
else, regular neighborhood.
Yeah.
And what do you like about that job?
I like that. I mean, I worked there for 2 years, maybe. Yeah, it must be 2 years. And I like that it was really intimidating at first because I never worked with people with autism, but it's really been a really cool experience and really eye-opening. I really like working with them and hanging out with them.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
All right. Thanks for joining us on this extra short chapter about Loincloth Man and meditation. We'll resume next time.
Yes, thank you so much for listening.